the last offer sheet out there from the NHL, and I wrote about this yesterday, was Ryan O'Reilly 5 years ago, and it happened after over a month of basically an impasse in terms of a contract signing. So, a team out there looking for offense could go down that road, but for the price tag that Nylander's asking for, which is probably in the $7 to $8 million range, the compensation would be a first, second, and third round pick. And the thing is, there's no guarantees for that team if they sign an offer sheet and the Leafs don't match, that first round pick is lottery protected. So that's why I think that, and amongst a number of issues, why Nylander will not be signed to an offer sheet. And I wrote about, why Matthews and Marner won't be in my column yesterday. But there doesn't seem to be any movement other than now and I've been saying this for 3 months, the bridge deal coming into more of a focus. And they showed a graphic yesterday about, Artemi Panarin's bridge deal with Chicago, and Kucherov's bridge deal with Tampa Bay, which was around $4.7 million. Nylander is not in the range of those players. So if he does sign a 2 or 3 year bridge deal, it's probably going to be in the 4.5 to 4.75 range. And at this point, I think all they want to do is get him signed, because eventually, I'm of the mind that, if he gets a bridge deal, and with this ordeal, this is sort of paving his road out of Toronto eventually, but not immediately. He could come back, sign, and be here for a year or two. But I truly think now Nylander is going to be, of that big three, is going to be the one that doesn't stay long term.
Yeah, I predicted that some time ago, even before these contractual hiccups. The vibe that it creates, what does this do for this expectation, this notion, this hope that the Leafs Stars will agree to contracts that are justifiable based on what they produce, but also palatable for the organization, and obviously workable under the salary cap, in order to fit everybody in, fit all the pieces in, so this team can maintain and take a legitimate run with lots of talent, side by side. I mean, what's his William Nylander? What is he suggesting to Matthews and Marner? Like, heck, guys, there are more important things than cohesiveness and loyalty, right?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, and I have no idea what the contact between Nylander and his teammates have been. But the mentality of most of these players is, we need to get paid, and I understand that, because that's just human nature. You want to get as much as you can, and the team is going to fight against that, because there is a salary cap. Otherwise, if there was no salary cap, I don't think these situations would be any problem. It's a bottomless pit of money from MLS and E, so they would just sign them. But they do have a cap structure to work within, and that's why I think they're fighting against Nylander making 7 or 8, because their valuation of him is not as a $7 or $8 million player as of yet. And that, the bridge deal allows him to say, okay, here's a bigger case for me to be paid that type of way. And, at that point, the Leafs might not be able to pay him that, but at least it gets him in for a year, 2 or 3, or whatever, how long it is. Now Matthews was mentioned yesterday, and I was going to write about this today, and I think it might be a more logical and a more understandable pathway. I mean, everybody wants the Leafs to sign Matthews for 8 years, and I'm sure the Leafs do, because it gives them cost certainty for basically the bulk of his prime. But if you look at Kane and Taves in Chicago, Tavares with the Islanders, Stamkos, Doughty, all these guys signed 5-year deals out of their entry level, and it was for a little bit less money. In the case of Tavares, it was 5.5, which that won't be for Matthews. In the case of Kane and Taves, I think it was 7.5. Matthews, his representatives may want to sign a 5-year deal. Now, that would make him potentially a UFA at age 25 or 26, I believe. But for the Leafs, this might be a situation where it would be beneficial in one respect. If he signs a 5-year deal during the season this year and it kicks in next year, 1 year after that deal expires, the John Tavares contract expires, which means the Leafs could sign him for almost whatever they want to in 2024 when the contract comes up. Now, obviously, it gives Matthews the opportunity to go anywhere he wants if he wants to leave Toronto, but that's the risk that's the risk you take. But that might be the way that the Matthews deal gets finally done. And according to Friedman yesterday, they're really working hard to get a deal done in season because I think they want to avoid all the potential offer sheet crap that has been out there for a little time.